Hi, second graders. It's Mrs. Compton and Chip. We wanted to wish you a happy new year. Hey, that's not boring. That's a good thing. Oh, you could sniff me over. We are so glad to have said goodbye to 2020, and we are on to bigger and better in 2021. And hopefully we'll get to see each other in the classroom, minus Chip. He won't be able to come to school with us. But happy new year. We're going to get started with our math. And Chip is going to go bathe in the sun. He loves laying in the sun while I make these videos for you. All right, we're going to start with our number talk. So our first one, remember number talks are all done right here in your head. Our first one is 45 plus 30. 45 plus 30. Okay, take a moment and remember, I want to see how many ways you can solve this. So if you have one strategy, see if you can come up with an even better strategy. All right, take a moment. All right, on the count of three, let's hear what you got. 1, 2, 3, tell me. All right, I'm going to guess that you probably said this. I'm going to take some quick guesses to see if I can figure out how you did this. I'm going to guess that some people broke this into a 10, a 10, and a 10. And they knew that 45 plus 10 was 55, plus another 10 was 65, and plus another 10 was 75. Maybe you didn't use a number line, but you still hopped in tens in your brain, so it's okay if we represent it with a number line. Or maybe some of you just knew that 4 tens plus 3 tens was 7 tens, otherwise known as 70, and then you had 5 ones, so 75. All right, let's try our next one. Our next one is this, 45 plus 38. All right, I want everyone to hit pause, and I want you to think, how many ways can I figure this out? And remember, if you have one strategy, we're trying to build even stronger and better connections. So keep going, keep thinking. All right, hit pause. All right, on the count of three, let's hear it. 1, 2, 3, tell me. Was it more than 75 or less than 75? It would have to be more, right? We have a 45 and a 45. And this one, we were adding 30. This one, we're adding 8 more. So I'm going to guess that some of you probably took that 75 and just did 75 straight from that problem plus 8 more. Did anybody do that? You just added 75 and then 8 more? So that would give us what? Well, maybe that's when you decided to find a 10. Maybe you broke it into a 5 and a 3, the 8 into a 5 and a 3. I don't know. That's a good, strong strategy because we've got a 75 here. And we can turn it into an 80 plus 3. So our answer would be 83. I have another guess. I have a totally different guess. Let me change my color. I'm going to guess that some of you probably broke this into a 40 and a 5 and a 30 and an 8. And I'm going to guess some of you added by place value. So 40 plus 30, 40 plus 30 is, well, you already knew that from the last one, right? 70. And 5 plus 8 is 13. And then when you put the tens together, the 7 tens and the 1 10, you have 8 tens, and then 3 ones, right? So 83. Maybe you did that. All right. Guys, I think we are ready for our story problem today, and we're going to check it out. Let's see what it's about. It is about cookies. And we are going to give a shout out to Mrs. Krasmarzik, who is our principal at Meadows. I picked Mrs. Krasmarzik for this shout out because if you know anything about Mrs. Krasmarzik, she loves to bake. And in the emails that she sends the teachers, she's always sending us some baking recipes. So I wanted to send her a shout out today. So this is all about cookies. Mrs. Krasmarzik baked 2 dozen cookies. She gave cookies to the neighbors. Very nice of her. And her family ate cookies. How many cookies are left? Okay, so we're trying to figure out, after Mrs. Krizmarzik shared the cookies with the neighbors and her family ate some. I hope Mrs. Krizmarzik was part of that family because she can't bake the cookies and then not eat any. Okay, so then we have to figure out how many are left. Okay, I did notice something here, and it was the word dozen, and it says 2 dozen. We actually need to know what that word means. Let me get a marker over here. So we've got the words 2 dozen. We have to know what that means. So 1 dozen is how many? Think about when you go to this grocery store and you buy some eggs. There are 2 rows of 6 eggs, usually, right? If you get the 12 pack. So a dozen is 12. In this story, Mrs. Krizmarzik doesn't bake 1 dozen. She bakes 2 dozen. So we really have to keep that in mind when we're thinking about this story. Okay, so actually, let's see our number sets. Okay, let's do this. We've got 10 and 3, 12 and 9, 5 and 3. You might be wondering why 5 and 3 is way over here. Sometimes smaller numbers can actually be harder. So I thought I would just see what you thought. I don't know. You have to just try it out. Maybe I'll start with this one and then go to this one. Who knows? Okay, let's try it out with 10 and 3. Mrs. Krizmarzik baked 2 dozen cookies. She gave 10 cookies to the neighbors, and her family ate 3 cookies. How many cookies are left? Okay, so first think about what you have to do. We have to think about how many cookies Mrs. Krizmarzik bakes. So it doesn't exactly tell us, but it gives us the information to figure it out. So we have to figure out how much 2 dozen is, and then we have to think about, she took some over to the neighbors, and then some of her family ate some cookies. What's left? That's for you to find out. And maybe you can knock on her door and say, hey, Mrs. Kriz, do you have any cookies left for me? That's what I should do. All right, kids, I'll see you next time. Bye.